Great day, everybody. This is Matthew Britt, and welcome to Britt's Bits. Today, it's awesome. I have a chance to be with a great friend of mine and fellow business partner, Mr. Rob Hamilton. And Rob actually and I have known each other for roughly 8 years or so now. And we got actually introduced through the world of entrepreneurship and network marketing, and have been in a couple different ventures together, a couple different incredible experiences along the way. And it's awesome to have him here today just to share a little bit of kind of his knowledge over the past 8 years as an entrepreneur. And Rob, coming from the high-tech industry, and not really being an entrepreneur before, what was it like the first time you ever got approached about the industry, network marketing, and the world of entrepreneurship?
It wasn't the ideal experience, for sure. Back when I first started my high-tech career, like most people when they're first venturing out into a brand new career, super excited, knew the path I was going down and whatnot. Hadn't been knocked around too much by that point. And Jana was out at a store this one night, and she came home and said that she was chatting with this really nice couple in the store. They had a business and whatnot, and so she booked a time for them to come by for coffee. And it was then that we realized, sitting across from them over a cup of coffee in our home, it was like, oh my God, this is one of those things, right? So not really understanding what one of those things was at the time. I just had this, this preconception, like some people do. It's, one of those things. So that never really went anywhere. I think probably because we're at a stage in our lives where we weren't really looking for anything else. We weren't really looking for a change. So that was the very first sort of exposure, right?
Kind of a little bit of a sneak attack.
Yeah. It wasn't obviously it wasn't effective the way that they approached us, but it was interesting and fun to talk about looking back, for sure.
Yeah. What kind of got you open to the industry?
Well, coming from that high-tech background, eventually, as a lot of people know, it's in the late 1990s, early 2000s, the bubble kind of burst, right? So we went from what we thought as a very stable career and stable income to a point where that was in jeopardy, right? And so we had a young family at the time as well, and once that happens, it kind of opens the doors and makes you sort of think about, God, there's got to be some other options out there. And it was really a friend of ours who we had a lot of respect for. I grew up with him, went to high school with him. He owned a company here where we live. He actually approached us at that particular point in time when we were kind of looking for options, looking for alternatives. And he said, "Hey, listen, I just found out about this. Same boat as you are, high tech as well. I've been looking out for a plan B. Let's go check this out together." And that was really what I guess it was all about timing. It was all about the approach that we were open to looking at something new at that particular point.
And I think that's something really important for people to remember, is that the things are around us all the time, right? For an entrepreneur, opportunities everywhere, but sometimes we don't see it because we're not open to it yet.
Right.
And when the timing is right for us and our minds do kind of open up to the other ideas, all of a sudden these things can hit us in the face.
Yeah, absolutely.
And since being a part of the entrepreneurship world, has it been easy for you?
Hasn't been easy. I mean, like anything in life that's worth chasing after, it takes some effort, and it's there's bumps and valleys, and there's great days and there's not so great days, and it hasn't been easy, but it's been probably the most rewarding thing career-wise that we've ever done.
I think that's important for people to know, right? There's nothing even in life is worth having doesn't come with a price tag.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And as far as achieving those things, especially when you've got big goals like you and Jana do, it's gonna take probably a lot of failures.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I personally believe it's only a failure if you quit.
Yeah.
Right? And
for sure.
You and I both have about the same amount of experience in the industry.
Yeah.
Both come from multiple failed attempts. right? Looking back on those, how would you say those attempts have got you to where you are today and producing success?
It's all about the learning experience, right? And I talk with obviously a lot of people that have a look at this industry, and more people are realizing that the career path that they were on is not necessarily going to fulfill what their goals are. And I really try to help educate people on the fact that it's not a cakewalk. It's not like waking up one morning and all of a sudden you won the lottery. If you look at whatever career you're currently in or whatever career you were in before, you weren't sort of sat down at your desk and all of a sudden you know everything and you're a complete expert on everything that you do, and you're all of a sudden running the company, right? It's it takes those steps, and it takes that commitment, that dedication to constantly learning, constantly improving yourself. And the challenge with that sometimes as an entrepreneur is there's no one, you don't have a boss cracking the whip telling you, okay, you have to do this, you have to be here at a certain time, you have to, you have to do this much work, and this is exactly what you have to do. You've got to sort of self-regulate that. And there's lots of, it's trial and error, right? There's ups and downs, and again, there's great days, and then there's not so great days, and you kind of, you just have to sort of set your mind, set that vision of where you want to be, what your goals are, and just knowing that the path you're on is the right path. And those days where you stumble and fall down, as long as you keep getting back up and keep committing to learning and getting better, it pays off in the end. And the more that you do it, the easier it does get.
Yeah. And that was kind of leading to my next question, but you answered it kind of in that in your response there. That every single time you make those mistakes, you have those failures, typically a lot of people will stop. Right? So many people will give up. And what do you think the difference is between us who continue to go and the ones that make it to achieving great things, and the ones that end up giving up on their dreams? What do you think the major difference is?